Bet y'all thought I was gonna Steve Harvey y'all, didn't you? Time is relevant, you know, so whether I was here yesterday, the week before, I'm here now. Everything is now. Broke dinner. How you guys doing, man? All the best to you guys. I hope you guys miss me as much as I've missed you. Unfortunately, work happens. But today, we're gonna get to work on something a little bit interesting, man. Gotta stop being so broke, man. I mean, I've been eating good, working hard. Now today, we're gonna take it, we'll take it back to some duck titties. You know, I'll be cooking them chicken titties all the time, but today, I have two succulent Christmas discounted duck breasts. Now I'm gonna blacken these duck breasts. I'm gonna teach you how to make the blackened duck breast by using a hot red white wine marinade. So for the white wine marinade, we're gonna go on a little bit of Pinot Grigio. We're gonna go on a fair amount of sugar. There's no recipe for this that I use. I have a couple sprigs of rosemary and one large clove of garlic crushed up. One head of garlic crushed up. So to prepare the hot wine marinade, I'm gonna add all this into a saucepan. I'd say about 4 tablespoons of sugar, a fair amount of salt, because this marinade is also gonna brine it as well. And then we add our Pinot Grigio. Now you just want enough to submerge your duck breast. Now this is a duck breast. Now you prep duck breast in a similar way to chicken breast if you're taking it off the bone, but at which point you have a little bit of silver skin and sinew under here that you want to get rid of, because that stuff gets a little tough. So I'm just going to ease my knife under there, remove it. Also, much like lamb and most fatty cuts of meat, it's good to score. When scoring meat, you're just going to lightly cut into the fat. And this helps the fat to come out while cooking. And it's called to help the fat render while cooking. Now our marinade has come to a boil and everything's nice and just steeped in. You can allow it more time to infuse, but we're in a bit of a rush, so we're just gonna cover everything there. We're just gonna cover this with some cling film and leave this to infuse for about 1 hour. Now we got a duck breast marinating, and I also got some of this new school bird food, man. This is quinoa. It's a Peruvian grain, and it's superfood, they say. But we'll see what's up with this. What I'm gonna do is, rather than just steaming it and cooking it off, I'm gonna make a biryani out of this quinoa. And biryani is an Indian rice dish, which is rice fried off with some spices and stuff like that. It's almost like an Indian jambalaya of sorts. So first thing, I take this amount of quinoa, I don't measure, I'm just going to use roughly a similar amount of water plus 5% by volume. So as always with most grains, it's good to wash first. Also, first thing I want to do is I want to start cooking off the spices and my vegetables that I'm using. Here I'm just going on some, like 2 onions, nicely diced, 3 sticks of celery, nicely diced, some grated ginger, and about 4 cloves of garlic, finely minced. This goes into a little bit of oil. I'm just going to saute that off for a little bit. And my spice mixture that I'm going on here is about 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds, 1/4 teaspoon of coriander, a few bay leaves, about 4 cloves in total. And when I say 4 cloves, I mean 4 literal cloves like this. I also have some ground cumin and some cumin seeds as well in there. A little bit of cayenne pepper. And that we combine with the spices. Also gonna add a little bit of ground allspice because I love that stuff. Now we're gonna saute this for about 3 minutes over low heat just to sweat the aromatics and to let the spices cook into this as well a little bit. Now we've sauteed our aromatics and our spices for about 2 minutes. Our quinoa has been washed in a few changes of water until the water is completely transparent. And I have just a generous knob of butter here, which I add to this. And then I proceed to add the quinoa, where I add salt. Okay, now, so as you can hear that those grains crackling down there. At this point, we add our water. As I said, we add just enough to cover, and just a little bit more because quinoa is more resilient to cooking than rice. Well, than white rice is. So we bring to a boil, and then you turn it down to the lowest possible heat and allow it to just steam for about 10-15 minutes. Now, one of the traditional things that go with biryani is normally yogurt. But I don't feel like doing it with yogurt, so in order to simulate that creaminess, I'm actually going to go on 2 avocados, a little bit of milk and cream, I'd say about half and half, so I have about 100 milliliters of that there, and a little bit of salt. So what I'm going to try and make here is an avocado mousse. This may or may not work out, I mean especially with this dish, but you never know. Some things in life you just got to try it before you find out. So what I'm doing here, I'm just opening the avocados, removing the seeds, transferring the pulp to a blender, the juice of 1 lime, I'd say half of a lime. We add the salt, liquid, and we blend. And here we have our duck breast now, after about an hour. Now, the blackening is going to come from the sugar that's been added to this brine. So that combination of the fat and the sugar, which is going to be rendered over a low heat for a couple of minutes, flip to the other side into the oven for about 2 or 3 minutes. And what we're aiming for on this, is to cook to about medium. I have an oven safe pan here being brought to a temperate heat. I'm going to transfer my duck breast. Now we just dry the duck off a little bit on each side. Temperate pan, skin side down, no oil. The fat from itself, when we scored it, that's going to come out and that's going to cook it for us. Okay, so now as you can see, it's been cooking for about 3 minutes and we get that nice crispy, well deep caramelized dark complexion to that duck breast. That comes from infusing it with that sugary and wine brine that we made up earlier. So at this point, to finish the cooking after it's been seared lightly on each side, I'm going to transfer to gas mark 7 or 180 to 190 degrees Celsius, or I'd say about 375 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to let that chill out there for about 3-4 minutes. Okay, and now just to finish this whole meal off, I'm just going to make a quick light salad from what I have lying around here, which is some almonds. Some flaked almonds I'm just going to toast off. And I'm just going to shake some asparagus. Just going to use some red onion rings, raw. Maybe a couple of capers. And some celery leaves. And the toasted almonds. Smidgen of lime juice. A little splash of balsamic. That's balsamic vinegar and extra virgin olive oil. Sweetness, I'm just going to add just a dash of oyster sauce. Mix. It's been about 3 minutes and our duck breast is ready to come out. As always, it is very important to let that rest. Let's get this flipped over onto a plate. Hold on. You have it. Blackened duck breast with a little bit of a quinoa biryani, some avocado mousse, and a little impromptu salad with some asparagus, red onions, some celery leaves, capers, and some toasted almonds. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for everything. I'm sorry I've been away, but you know, work gets hectic for me around this time of the year. I'm a chef. So we'll be back soon. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the support. And remember, thumbs up and subscribe, man. I got you guys. Broke Dinner.